Today I want to know if you can buy video games and then trade them into your local video game store for profit. This is one of 3 different money-making methods that I'm going to be testing out in this video, starting with the first method of retail arbitrage. Now, what is retail arbitrage, I hear you ask? It basically means trying to find a profit gap between 2 different marketplaces' price points. In this case, we're going to be going out to a retail store and then we're going to be trying to put it online to flip it for a profit. Now, these opportunities don't come around too often, and I was really fortunate to be tipped off by one of the viewers of the channel, Anthony, who said to me, get to JB Hi-Fi because today only there is a Blu-ray special happening right now. Buy one, get one free on the box sets and on the 4K Ultra copies. So there was the tag, and I had a bit of a read because this is a really important step. You need to know the rules. So it was Blu-ray and 4K only. The cheapest one was one that was going to be free, and you could only buy 2 copies of the same title. So it was my job to go ahead and price check the eBay sold comps and then decide if it was profitable after fees and postage. Now, this was the first one that I found here. It was a Blu-ray copy of the Godfather trilogy, and it was $55 in store. The comps on eBay were talking, well, at least that, if not more. So I thought, let's try and find 2 copies.
This is the only copy that we've got.
The only one?
Yeah.
No worries.
All good.
No, I was just hoping to grab 2 of them. Turns out there was just a lot of single copies of all of these Blu-rays, so I had to basically do a price match. If I found one copy of a TV show, I would need to try and find a priced match copy of another TV show. And there were a couple of different ones here that I was liking the look of. Some really decent comps, a really big sale price, which meant that if you got it for free, a really big free sale price on eBay. It was proving to be really difficult because the price points were all over the place. Game of Thrones was $200, this Sydney LeMay, that was also a $200 one, so I thought I could group those up together. But it was this one here, the I Dream of Jeannie for $280, and then the Godfather was only $55. There was too much of a price gap. I had a bit of a look into the aisles as well, and there were a couple of different options here too. We had Robotech, which unfortunately wasn't a big seller on eBay, and it was priced at $305. This Tokyo Ghoul though for $200, I ended up grabbing that. So there were 4 copies of Blu-rays that I was able to pull away that I'll be listing up onto eBay. 400, what do we got there? 480, 680, 880. So we've got $880 worth of value on eBay, and we've paid $480. So 480 into 880, I think it's a pretty good deal. So I'm really happy about that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to a couple of other local JB Hi-Fis, and I really want to try and find multiples of the same title so I can buy more. Before I continue on, let's jump into money method number 2, game store trade-in. So a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine opened my eyes to the world of EB Games and their video game trade-in policy. Now, this was really interesting because he did a massive eBay store buyout and then he took it into EB Games and he traded in to make over $15,000. This was not petty change. So I wanted to test the waters by going out to my local pawn shops to try and buy games that I could take and then compare against their trade-in prices and try and profit on it. I'm going in with this really apprehensively. I don't think it's going to work because I'm so used to selling items for a little bit more money on eBay. But let's give this thing a go. I'm interested to see what happens. What you want to do is we want to pull out. That's all TV. That's DVD. We want to pull out all of the $1. So see that there? Mm-hmm. It was 5 and now it's 1. So how many 1s can we find? What do we got up here?
Oh, 20 cents.
20 cents. Alright. That's awesome, they've got 20 cents.
50 cents.
50 cents on Overwatch. That's PlayStation 4. That's good. Now, there is a rule where you can't take more than 1 or 2 copies of a game. So if we find multiples, we can only take 2.
Oh,
2, I think it's 2 maximum. So we've got a lot of Overwatch. So I reckon we take, although, just check the different versions of those. So we've got 2 Origins. So that's Origins is done. But But then we've got a Game of the Year edition as well, which is different. So we'll take 2 of those and we can put all of those back. There's $1 here on FIFA, Deluxe Edition. Another Elder Scrolls. $1 on Tiger Woods.
That's it.
That's everything. That's good. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. See you later. All right, so a pretty successful first run. As you can see there, guys, we have paid $12.10 and we've been able to secure 21 video games. It works out to a buy price of 57 cents. Woo. I'm assuming that's going to be profitable.
Surely.
Surely EB Games are going to pay us more than $12 for all of these games. Even if it's $1 a game, we're going to be profitable. We're going to double our money. We're going to make $12. You, though, can do one thing on the drive and pull off all of these stickers.
So.
Because these stickers, we can't show EB Games.
Thought that would be my job.
All right, so we've found these. These are actually going to go on eBay. We've got 20% off store-wide. And we've found Forza Horizon 2. We've got 2 copies of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They both have the manual. And then we have the Xbox One Next Dimension. These are all $9 that are going to come down to $7.80. And they all go for 25 to 30. So there'll be some good movement in those. And then for our trade-in, we've got these 2 for $7, and they're all 2s. So I don't know if that's paying up too much, but we'll see. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. We have our games. Kate has done a great job at getting all of those stickers off the games, which is a tough job to do. But yeah, we're here at the shopping centre where EB Games is. Let's see what we can do.
With the name and phone number, etc. Or there's EB Plus, which is our newer paid premium membership.
So the first thing I was greeted with at EB Games was the push for me to join their EB World Plus benefits program. It's basically a membership and there's tiers of level 1 through to level 5. So the more you trade in over time, the greater the discounts get, where you get an additional 30% if you can get yourself to level 5. It was definitely worth doing. It was only $50 and I was able to get myself a free gift, which I gave to Kate. The Simpson socks were pretty cool. Okay, so the results from my first money-making method of going out to my local pawn shops and just trading them into EB Games. We bought 28 games, and those 28 games worked out to $22.50 worth of a purchase price. Taking them directly into EB Games, they gave us a payout of $45. It was exactly double our money. Within the space of an hour, we'd made ourselves $22.50. I was really surprised by this, and I actually think I might adopt this EB Game trade-in method into my eBay business, which is my predominant method of making money, is using eBay as a full-time seller. But I think I actually might use this for the cheaper games that I don't want to be selling in there. Rather than just donating them back to the op shops, I think I might just try and cash in and make a few bucks. It got me thinking, guys. I've got a ton of games lying around the house that have got little scratches or they're not in great nick. I wonder if I could take these in and trade them in for value. I was liking this whole process.
Alrighty, so trade those in, and it was $150.47.
Awesome. Because I thought $150 was a really good return. $152 it came to worth of trade-in value. I'm seeing a $5.25 for a Game Boy game worth of trade-in value. A couple of $4 games, $4.46 on one of them, $4.46 again. Harry Potter on the PlayStation 2, quite a number of $4.46. Wow. Tales of Zestiria on the PlayStation 4, we got $10.50 worth of trading credit or trade-in pay. So I believe there were 50 games. So 50 games traded in for $150. So we're averaging a $3 trade-in value per game, which is pretty much, I would say, par with eBay. I would generally sell off the video games at $4 on eBay. And when you take out the average of the postage send for the bulk order plus the fees, you're probably coming down to about a $3 in your pocket situation anyway. So what I'm seeing here is the trade-in value from EB Games is pretty much comparative to selling off your video games bulk on eBay. You can really go either way about it. And if you're thinking that eBay is not a guarantee of a quick sale, well, it actually is. Pricing it up for $4 on eBay as a bulk lot within the same console, you're generally getting a sale within 24 hours. EB Games though, you're guaranteed the return, as we've just seen there, instantly. So after the trade-in was a huge success, I wanted to go back to our method number 1 of retail arbitrage. Now, this store was a much better store. I checked out the box sets and you can see here there is quite a large collection of a number of titles that I hadn't seen in the first store. We've got The Flash here on Blu-ray. This was going for $170 in store, but at least that on eBay as well, which is great. I've got The Sopranos here on Blu-ray too. This is $120, going for well over that on eBay as well. So it was just a matter of trying to find the exact same titles again, and I had a bit of a look through the rest of the set here, and then, well, bang, I've got The Flash. So that's $170 worth of a free listing for us on eBay. And then I've got this one here as well, which is Sailor Moon. The complete series, $270, but it sells for $300 to $400 on eBay. So was really hoping to try and find a second copy of that one there. But in my looking around here, I was able to find another copy of The Sopranos. There it is right there. So 2 copies of The Sopranos and The Flash. It was doing really well. I kept having a bit of a look and I found this, which was Game of Thrones, and it was priced at $150. Now, I thought that was pretty good because it was selling on eBay for $175, but I grabbed this second copy and, well, it was priced for $200. So that was a little bit frustrating because they were the only 2 copies of the show. So, I meant, in the end, I thought I'd go with it. I also found this as well, which was Game of Thrones. It was the 4K edition selling for $350. So I picked up 2 copies of that as well. This was the most frustrating part, guys. Turning around items and realizing they were DVDs, not Blu-ray, because they didn't count as part of the deal. But I kept having a bit of a dig and I did find more of Tokyo Ghoul. So the Tokyo Ghoul is what we found in that first store for $200 each. So I've gone ahead and I've grabbed another 2 copies of that. But I kept having a bit of a look until I got to the checkout, and then I asked the guy at the counter if we could do separate transactions to maximize the value, and he said yes. So this is a massive unlock, and I actually want to go to another store now. So when he said to me that I could do individual transactions, I just wanted to keep buying because I don't know if that's actually a thing. I feel like you go up and you make your transaction and then they just pull the cheapest box sets off. That's what it says in the terms and conditions. So either he was doing me a real big solid, or maybe I just got away with it. I don't know, but that just turned the savings into even more. I've spent quite a bit of money though, I will say that. So I am, because it's literally the last afternoon that we've got access to this opportunity, I am going to still go to the third store and sort of just try and maximize the haul to the best that it can be. So money making method number 3 is Facebook Marketplace to eBay. Online arbitrage, going from one marketplace and putting it on another marketplace for an uptick in price. That's all we're doing. So we need to scale Facebook Marketplace to try and find products and then match them up on eBay and see if they're profitable. Now, I've been doing this for a little bit, so I know off the top of my head what good products are. So now I just speed up the process and go looking for them on Facebook Marketplace. And I've come across a listing that was really poorly worded. It was full art Pokemon cards, rare Pokemon cards potentially, but they didn't actually show all of the cards. They just had a binder of Pokemon cards, and we negotiated on $100. So I thought to myself, let's just give it a go because I can break this out individually, sell it on eBay, and hopefully make a profit. All right, now I was going over to this place to pick up some Pokemon cards, and I got chatting to him, and I've ended up being able to come away with all of these seasons of Pokemon on DVD. So I ended up paying him $100 for this stack. He said, how much do you want to sell it for? And he actually said, he goes, I was actually going to put this on Facebook Marketplace this afternoon. And I obviously saw it in his drawer and I said, oh, I love Pokemon, obviously getting the cards off you. How much would you do for the DVDs? And he hadn't done any looking into it. And he was like, look, I'll take $100 off you if you hear it and you're ready to buy it off me now. So I think you can get about 20 bucks each. So there's probably $260 in value. So I thought $100 was pretty fair for that. I also, it's not the only thing that I grabbed off him as well. I've also been able to find a Pikachu Game Boy. Now these go for about $200 to $220, and he also had Pokemon Gold There it is there, Pokemon Gold on the Game Boy. And there is a game in this as well, which is a Japanese Pocket Monster. There it is right there as well. So now I paid $150 to get my hands on those two, plus the extra game. So we'll see how that goes. So 13 seasons of Pokemon Game Boys. And then what I actually went there for was to buy some Pokemon cards off him. This was a binder of full arts only. So no commons in the bunch, just full arts. Now, not every full art is going to be worth a bunch of money, but they are the ones that you want to at least be doing some comp research on just to make sure. So I've got these right here. So I've got this little binder of cards, as you can see, fully stacked up with full arts. And then I also have a really cool Detective Pikachu case here. And as you can see, there are a bunch of full arts in there as well. We're going to crack these open at the end of the episode. So I'm looking forward to showing you that. All right, here we go, guys. There it is. JB Hi-Fi. Our third and final store, and it looks a big one, doesn't it? So let's get in here and try and look at this VIP, because we're coming out with a lot. All right, there we go, guys. Another big stash. Let's have a quick chat about. So as you can see, she's stapled them and she's done individual transactions in this store as well to help me out. And it helps me out massively. It just means there's going to be more dollars in my pocket at the end of the day. So 109 plus 200, 309, 335, that's 645, 645, and then 200, $845 was spent for another 8 plus the 2200. Whoa, we've just purchased $4,700 worth of stock, and I think we paid about 2.5 grand. 2.5 grand for $4,700. That's just good maths. There it is. That's a lot of listings. A lot of listings that you don't usually get your hands on, guys. So I was really, really happy to see that come through. Thank you very much to Anthony, obviously, for the hookup. Retail arbitrage, you've got to expect smaller margins, right? Like, you've got to outlay 2.5 grand to make 1,000. That doesn't happen in thrift stores. So it's just a different expectation, but they're brand new products. And they're the products that always sell for me, the complete series box sets. So that was great. Now, what I wanted to do is talk to you about the Pokemon cards, because we've got everything else all laid out here, but the Pokemon cards was a bit of a unknown. And I've got a few here. These Pokemon cards here that I've already pulled out and put into little penny sleeves are worth a little bit of money. I have a rule when it comes to Pokemon cards to not list anything under $20. So I'm only taking these out of the binders. If you want the binders, I'll do all of them for $50. There'll be some smaller fry stuff under $20 worth of comping. So if that's something you're into, if you want to complete your collections, feel free to get in touch, because I won't be listing those onto eBay. Within the cards though, these were the best. I found this one here, which is a Starmie V. I've actually got it in a top loader because it's sold in 20 minutes on eBay. We got $160 for that card right there. And you wouldn't believe it, he actually had a second one in his binder. He had 2 copies, and they are in incredible condition. They sell anywhere between $150 to $200. So I would argue that there is 100% going to be $300 to $350 when it's all said and done. So that was just ridiculous to have 2 of these very rare Pokemon cards in that binder. The other cards that did really well, I can't pronounce these Pokemon. Arceus V-Star, I've got 2 copies of that. There it is right there. These ones I think sell for about $25 each, so that will be a bundle. I've got a Zekrom here as well. That one was comping up to be worth about $25 on that one there. So what's that? Say $25, $75. This Gloria was worth about $20. So call it $100 for those four. This Eternatus VMAX. Not 100% sure about that one. I don't know the modern stuff as well as I know the vintage. But that one was a secret rare. So that one was selling for about 25 odd dollars. And then we have Eevee as well. I really like the look of that card. Eevee. All these cards are literally packed fresh. They are so mint. That little Eevee was going for about 25 as well. So all of those cards worked out to be worth about $200 for those there that have already, or not already, they're going to be listed up onto eBay very shortly. But it was the Starmies, it was the Starmie Vs that we were able to get, literally listed, literally sold immediately. Nice to get some return. That Facebook Marketplace is a really, really good hunting ground. If you're new. If you're unsure about the process of how do I know what my actual profit is, you would have seen me using the eProfit calculator. That's just one of a few steps that I go through to work out how much profit is going to be in the products that I'm buying. So I'm going to link for you guys in the description below. It's just basically a sourcing guide ebook. It's totally free. I've just made it to try and help beginners that are just starting out. So if you are interested, feel free to go ahead and grab that ebook linked in the description below. But I've got a lot of listings to list up. I've never spent that much money in a single day of sourcing through multiple different avenues. I was just buying like crazy. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I will say there is this video right here of another day very similar to this buy one get one free Blu-ray deal. It was a DVD deal and I cashed in on an even greater return. So I'll leave it with you there. Go check it out. We'll see you soon.